Hey, Neen.
Hi, Steph.
Happy Friday.
Happy Friday. I love this topic so much I forgot it was crime talk.
Crime talk. Everywhere you go, crime talk, crime talk.
Do, 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 do.
Yeah, we gotta
Get
work
ready
on
for
it.
the show.
Oh, I like it. Yes. I know
Oh
maybe it's too
gosh.
happy for crime talk, but
I know,
we'll
right?
work on it, guys. It's
Yeah.
been over a year of crime talk, I think. Yeah,
I know
our
we should have come
anniversary's
up with something by
passed.
now.
Yeah.
Yeah, for real.
Yeah, but in case you guys just turned on your podcast and you're wondering, what are these two crazy gals talking about? Yeah, you're right. We are Stephanie, and
Yes.
this is our Friday segment called Crime Talk, Crime Talk, Crime Talk with Steph. And doing a bonus episode because we didn't want to leave you guys hanging for too long
No.
because we did our
Mm-mm.
first two-parter last week, and that was very, very adult of us.
Yeah, and it was very fitting with the subject matter.
Definitely. I wanted to like end it like on a cliffhanger, even though I think
Mm-hmm.
most everybody knows what's going to happen next. But I did include a lot of some details that either I blocked out or I didn't
Mm-hmm.
know. So I thought it would be like, just a refresher or
Yeah.
whoa, that happened. But
Right.
before we do, I want to get cozy like we always do, just for a brief, like we're not, pretend we're not going to talk about like heinous activities. So, let's see. I mean, we already caught up for a good half an hour before
We
you
sure did, damn
recorded,
it.
but I know we should have hit record. But let's see.
Okay.
Today is actually Thursday.
Mm-hmm. It
And
is.
last night I had my Selena dance class. So
Oh,
yeah, it
nice.
put me in the mood because you guys know that I'm a major Selena fan. And tonight's my
Mhm.
J-Lo dance class. And you also know
Wow.
me. It's like my perfect like dance series. So I'm so excited.
No, that's
Um,
perfect. It's actually
yeah,
yeah, it's crazy because they are still connected.
so
J-Lo and
connected.
yeah, for real.
Yeah.
So
And I was
that's pretty cool.
watching like so J-Lo's been getting dragged left and right on social media.
Yeah.
And but people are also doing like defensive posts as well. And
Hmm.
I saw an old clip of her during the Selena movie, like when they were making it. My God, they picked the right person to play the part. Not only because I love her, but I know
Hmm.
people that don't like her,
Yeah,
can't stand her, that can't say that she didn't do a good job. She did a great job. Like
exactly.
it shows like she really like I mean, because she went to go stay with the family, with the
Hmm.
Quintanilla family. I can't imagine how painful that must have been for them to
Yeah.
like, have her mimicking her, like learning all the hand gestures, learning the
Hmm.
the laugh, the
Right.
the just watching her dance on stage. I think I remember seeing an old interview of the dad, I think, saying, "Oh my
Hmm.
God, seeing her dance on stage is like bringing me back to that place." But I mean, she did. I think that's got to be her best movie.
I think so too.
She hit it out of the park, right? Like God,
Hmm.
I think I've seen it like
And
75,000 times.
oh yeah, and I do like her as an actress. I think she's very cute as an actress. Like the
Yeah,
the movies that she's done, like the rom-com ones. I
yeah,
love how she acts.
I do
But
too.
the Selena movie,
Ugh,
you took the words right out of my mouth because there's a lot of people I know that don't like her, but in that movie they will say she killed it. Like
mhm,
that was her shining moment. Like literally.
definitely.
I mean, and we all know she had like a career before then, obviously, but not as big. This kind of like really catapulted her, right?
Yes.
But man, this film was just like she encapsulated the whole just everything of Selena,
Yeah.
down to, like you said, her facial expressions, her movements, her just her
Her
spirit.
body.
Yeah, exactly. And it was just, it was refreshing to see. Like, and I think that was the thing about her at that point was that she was still kind of humble,
Hmm.
the innocence of, starting, off like, oh my gosh, this is like gonna be big, or who knows, like this is where I'm gonna get all this attention, but I really want to make an impact, and it
Yeah.
shows in her acting in that movie. I love that movie. It's just, even though it's sad, it's such a
Oh,
feel good movie.
yeah. The ending. whoever thought of that ending was genius because
Yeah,
we didn't have to see the what we're going to talk about today.
right.
Um the simple like where she's singing her
Mm-hmm.
English song that she
Yeah,
didn't get a chance to like ever like, properly,
yeah.
share with the world.
Mm-hmm.
She's singing Dreaming of You, and then that she realizes she's alone, and then
Mm-hmm.
that lone red rose falls
Yeah.
at her feet. And then you
Mm-hmm.
cut to the footage.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Whoa.
Yeah, that gives me chills still.
Me too. And
It's
then like
just
the footage of her like alive and happy and the real her. Oh my God.
mm-hmm.
Every time I see it, I saw, but especially the part where they show the microphone at the Astrodome with like
Mm-hmm.
the lipstick and like it's like
Yeah.
and then the family being told. Oh my God, they did such a good job. Like that
Yeah,
is
they
like
did. And I
ooh.
and I love how they incorporated her family. And because sometimes people do these things and they'll talk to the family, but it's mainly by just what people have observed or what they've heard, right? But
Mhm.
they really wanted the family to just it be their story and her just helping them deliver that message to the world, you
Yeah.
know? And it's a beautiful film. Like, and just like the way Lo smiles in that movie,
Ugh.
just like Selena, like it's so pure. It's such
Yeah.
a good film. Oh God. I mean, not to change the subject, but on to Lo.
Mm.
The Diddy
Oh
list.
shit. What?
Did you see the list he had?
No, tell me, tell the world.
So I'm trying to figure out if this what this is because if you Google or yeah, I'm sure if you Google, but on Instagram search Diddy list, he released a list of a whole bunch of people. J Lo, Oprah, Snoop Dogg,
No.
Justin Bieber.
Is Corey Gamble on it?
No.
Because he's about to be dragged through the river.
Shit.
Well,
Really?
because
Him
he
too?
he
Oh,
helped
that's
raise
right.
Kim Porter's kids.
Oh,
He's about to be,
really? I didn't know
yeah,
that.
yeah. Oh, and P.S. Sorry, speaking of shadiness and pretending not to know things, OJ died today. And remember Chris Jenner and how that was her best
Mhm.
friend, Nicole.
Okay.
So
Uh-huh.
what's gonna
And
happen when Corey Gamble's like dragged through the river? I don't know why I'm saying river,
no,
but
for real, right? Because you know
yeah.
how they turn on people when,
Yeah.
because
Oh
look
my
what they
God.
did to Christy Teigen or Chrissy Teigen.
What they did? Wait, why? I forget.
So
That sounds
her
big.
and from what I know, remember before she had that whole controversy where she was bullying that kid online and
Yeah.
she was canceled, right? Her and Chris Jenner had that like soap deal, or they were like detergent
Oh,
or some clean products or something.
method or something like
Yeah.
that.
And Chris and her cut ties be after that because they were supposed to launch it around that time. And then she got canceled and Chris was nowhere to be around. And
Well,
nothing's ever come of it.
who's shocked? They did the same
Hmm.
thing to Ellen.
Yeah,
She officiated Ellen's renewal
that's
vows.
right. Isn't that
So
crazy?
it's funny how like when the shit goes down, you really find out who your friends are. Like for real,
Hmm.
you're not gonna come to my defense.
Oh, totally. Because they're big with that. Because even in one of someone in Diddy's party or someone that was like knows things released a video of his parties. Did you see that one?
Is that where Aaliyah was there and J Lo and everybody?
Yeah, but I don't know if they just added a whole bunch of different people, but it was a whole bunch of
What?
different people. But Kim Kardashian was there. You saw Kendall, no, Kylie, a whole bunch of different people. There is a slew of people, but this Diddy list, I don't know if these are people that he claims are on his side and he's reaching out for help, like, I need your help right now. Because some of them, like Naomi Campbell, apparently he's really close to her and he's like, I need your help. So I don't know if this is a list of people that he's leaning on for just like back me up, but because certain people weren't on there. Now, 50 Cent, though, 50 Cent, he's right there with Cat Williams. I love me for some 50,
Girl,
you know
so do I,
that.
but I
But
worry for his well-being and
thank
safety.
you.
I'm
That's
I'm like, can somebody check on them? Because I won't be
mm-hmm.
okay. But
And if something happens, we all
oh,
know
we
who did.
know. We
Mm-hmm.
know. I know.
Mm-hmm.
But like, did you see that Kim Kardashian unfriended P. Diddy? a couple days, a couple, either the day before the raid or the day of or after, like right around the raid.
Damn.
But
See?
he must have some shit on J-Lo because J-Lo has not said boo.
He
What tape does
must.
he have?
Okay. Because wasn't there something about the gun? There was something in that whole nightclub shooting thing. I
Yeah, it
read
was
something and
the
I don't know,
guy,
but it's
the
something about it was registered to her or she had something to do with it, with the gun. I don't know exactly, but it was something where something with the gun that she's a part of.
huh.
And I don't know. I mean, don't, nobody quote me on that, but there's something. She knows way too much. And
I
she is like,
know.
I do not want to be a part of this.
And she's willing to like risk her career. I mean, I guess she's not willing to risk her career because she's staying put and she could save herself right now because she's being dragged, but she's not.
Mm-hmm.
So that only makes me wonder, what does he have on her? I feel like it's
Mm-hmm.
tape.
Yeah. Oh my
These
God.
people love to record shit for insurance.
And you know what? I'm sorry, but Diddy is so low that I feel like he's the kind of guy since the beginning, right? Since he came out, I never liked Diddy myself. I just feel he's one of those people like is a coward.
Yeah.
I just, it's like, oh, he's the kind of guy that if his back's against the wall and, you know, you got your homies and you know that if you say something, they're going to get in trouble, he would never take the rap. He'd throw everyone under the bus to save his ass.
Very true.
And that's
Very
exactly what
true.
he's portraying right now. So
Ay, Dios
I don't know.
mío. What is
Hmm.
gonna happen?
I really don't know. I don't
I'm
know, but it's only going
scared.
to get worse because, I mean, look at 50 Cent's been saying a lot about Jay-Z too.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh my God. That's why I'm scared. Because like
Mm-hmm.
like you said, all of Jay-Z's alleged mistresses went missing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Oh, I feel scared. I don't want to talk about that anymore.
For real. Ah, I don't
Ugh.
know. It's been a crazy week with a lot of random news, random
Yeah.
like we were talking about the eclipse before we
Oh
left our
yeah.
last episode. Yeah, I don't know. I just been feeling kind of off this week, not in a bad way, but like I feel like there's a lot of weirdness going on lately.
Oh shit,
And
Neve.
I don't know. I mean, this morning I almost got killed dropping
Why?
Presley off to school and coming back home. A guy went around a car. It was a two-lane road, and a guy went around a car and literally almost hit me head on. And it wasn't like a long stretch. It was maybe like, I don't know, 500 feet away from me. Okay, that's a long way, right? I don't even
Yeah.
know how. Okay, no, 10 feet.
Okay. That's more
I can never,
believable.
I'm like, 500
I'm the
feet, that's
same
really
way.
far.
Like, I don't
Yeah.
understand how drivers are like, turn in 400 feet. How long is that?
Yes, exactly. Because when I'm looking on my GPS, I'm like, oh, 400 feet. And I'm
Yeah.
like, oh my God, it's still 2 blocks down.
Ay, Dios. Say that.
Yeah.
Two
How do
blocks
you measure
down.
that?
I don't know. I've always wondered, but my God, are you okay?
Yeah, but I was pissed and I went off on him. I
Good for
usually
you.
don't get like that, but I'm like, at this point, I'd be smiling in my effing mugshot
Yeah.
because you could have killed me. And it's like, at what cost?
Like, why are people in a hurry? Calm down.
Yeah, why are people in a hurry? That's what I want to know. I mean, I get it, but then leave early.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm sick of people.
I am too.
Mm-hmm. No, for real. Like, I can't. Like, I don't know what's.
The way you said, I'm sick of people.
I am like, people are so different now. They're not the same.
No, not like back in the
They're not
day.
pleasant.
No,
No.
they're not. Ugh.
Whatever.
Ugh.
Yeah. But let's talk about someone that I can't stand. And that's that bitch that's about to get out next year.
I mean, we can only hope that she'll be denied. But yeah,
I
let's
hope.
chat. Let's pick up where we left off. But
Mm,
before we do, I do want to let you guys know I'm gonna be talking about some of the injuries sustained. So it might get a little queasy. I didn't go like with every single injury, but we do go into it. So just FYI, okay? So
okay.
When we last left off, we chatted about how Selena had driven to Yolanda's motel room on the morning of March 31st, 1995. And this was after receiving a desperate call from Yolanda the night before. She was claiming that she was bleeding from a sexual assault and she needed to be taken to the hospital. Now, being the good person that Selena was, she went and she took her to the hospital. But she was visibly annoyed, according to medical staff, when Yolanda gets there and downplays her alleged injuries. She was like, "Oh, I'm only bleeding a little bit." Like,
Ugh,
so
shut up, bitch.
so they ended up being sent out of, I know, right? Sent, home with no
Hmm.
exam performed. And so they drive back to Yolanda's room. Now, on the way back, Selena receives a phone call from her husband reminding her that she had to go to the recording studio to record a song for her upcoming English album. She told Chris, whoops, I forgot, but I'll head over there just as soon as I take care of some business. So that's the last time he ever spoke to his wife. And Selena and Yolanda, they get back to the motel room and they begin to argue, or they continued arguing. And Selena had told Yolanda, look, we need to take some time apart for a while. People, like my dad's pissed. Like, we need to stay apart. But I need these financial documents that I've been asking you for. So
Hmm.
she's
For how
like,
long again has it been?
for a while, like the day before she had seen her, when Chris went with her, she gives her some documents, but they ended up being the wrong ones. Like she was being real squirrely with these
Hmm.
documents. She didn't want her to see what was on them. And Selena
Shady.
was not leaving without these documents. So their argument gets loud, and it was like super loud that guests that were like near this room heard the argument. They heard noises coming from the room. So during this argument, Selena grabs a hold of Yolanda's bag and dumps everything out of it looking for the documents. And this is when she finds Yolanda's gun. So Yolanda sees this, and seeing no other option, the bitch grabs the gun and points it at Selena. Selena turns to run out of the motel room, and Yolanda fires a shot, hitting Selena on her lower right shoulder. This shot punctured an artery and caused Selena to lose a lot of blood and fast. Doctors would later state that if the bullet had only been about 1 millimeter higher or lower, the gunshot wound would have been less severe, which
Wow.
that is like hard to hear. So Selena somehow manages to summon the energy to run to the motel lobby while clutching her chest and was screaming for help. She runs into a man by the name of Carlos Morales, who later stated that he heard the commotion and the screams and saw Selena running towards him, covered, like drenched in blood and looking
Wow.
terrified. She then runs into the motel lobby, and at this point, Yolanda is chasing after Selena, chasing her. Okay, still holding the gun.
Like, what do you have to say? You
Yeah,
just shot her.
yeah. So she's chasing, holding the gun, pointing it at her. And one of the staff claims that they heard her call Selena a bitch. Okay, so that's something
Wow.
that was allegedly overheard.
Hmm.
But I guess when she sees the motel staff, she stops chasing Selena. And according to that same staff, she calmly walked back to her motel room. Calmly. Okay.
Hmm.
So,
Like a killer.
yep.
Hmm.
So, and a calculated one at that. So, the
Hmm.
shooting, it took place at approximately 11:48 a.m. By 11:49 a.m., Selena had collapsed on the floor of the lobby while the hotel general manager, a woman named Barbara Schultz, called 911. At this point, Selena is still conscious and she's screaming and she's just completely terrified, yelling at the motel staff members to lock the door, to keep Yolanda out because she was going to shoot her again. Like she was like, oh my God,
Wow.
lock the door, lock the door. Selena told the staff members helping her that the person who shot her was Yolanda Saldivar and that she was in room 158. And these were the last words she ever uttered. Two employees were desperately trying to stop the bleeding while they waited for help, but it was no use. She was losing blood rapidly.
Hmm.
And these employees noticed at this point that her eyes had rolled back into her head and she went limp. The ambulance arrives at the motel in less than 2 minutes from the time they received the phone call, and they began working quickly to save Selena. The paramedics, they tore off her green sweater and they applied gauze on her gunshot wound, which finally stopped the bleeding. But
Mhm.
unfortunately, her heartbeat was very slow.
Mm.
One of the paramedics attempted to resuscitate her, but it was too late. She no longer had a pulse and had lost massive amounts of blood. A paramedic tried inserting a needle into Selena's arm, not sure for what. But it doesn't matter because her veins had collapsed at this point due to the massive blood loss and practically no blood pressure. By the time Selena made it to Corpus Christi Memorial Hospital at 12 p.m. that same day, she had no vital signs and was declared brain dead. Now, the doctors were able to establish an erratic heartbeat, giving them time to put her in the trauma room. There, they began giving her blood transfusions, contrary to the rumors that she wasn't given transfusions. And they opened her chest only to find massive internal bleeding. In addition to that, her right lung was damaged and her veins had no blood flowing through them. But the doctors kept at it, doing everything they could to bring her back, including massaging her heart after it had stopped beating. After almost an hour later, the doctors realized nothing more could be done, and Selena Quintanilla Perez was pronounced dead on March 31st, 1995, at 1:05 p.m. She was only 23 and was killed just 16 days before her 24th birthday.
Oh my God.
Yeah. Now, where was Yolanda, you might wonder? Like,
Mhm.
where is that crazy bitch?
Yeah.
So, after this hoe shoots and chases Selena, she chases her pointing the gun. I want you guys to remember this. She went back to her room, grabbed her stuff, including something wrapped in a towel, and tried to leave the parking lot in her red pickup truck. Thankfully, at this point, the police had arrived due to the 911 call and had gotten her description. So they were like,
Hmm.
and they go up to her truck and ordered her to get out. She straight up ignores them, okay, and attempted to back out of the spot she was parked in, but she was blocked by one of the officers' cars. With nowhere to go, Yolanda dramatically gets her gun, holds it to her temple while sobbing, okay, and shouting that she did not deserve to live anymore, that she had disgraced her family, and that she, quote, murdered her best friend.
Hmm.
Rather than let her do us all a favor and pull the trigger, forgive me the
Okay.
word, okay, the cops bring in a SWAT team as well as the FBI negotiator to, see if they could prevent her from doing that. So the negotiator chats with her, tries to gain her trust, in an effort to get her to give herself up. He tells her, be careful with the gun because sometimes they can go off by accident. Remember that. Okay.
Hmm.
So after Yolanda speaks to him, and then she also talks to a few of her family members, like they had like given her like a phone or whatever. Yolanda starts to tell police that the gun went off by accident. Whoops. By the fourth hour of negotiations, Yolanda was claiming that the whole purpose of bringing the gun with her to the motel was to kill herself. She had shown
Hmm.
Selena the gun and had held it to her head, and Selena told her to not kill herself. When Selena turned to leave the hotel room, that is when the gun magically went off by accident. By the sixth hour of negotiation, Yolanda was about to turn herself in, but got scared when she got out of her truck and saw an officer or multiple officers aiming their guns.
Hmm.
Like, and she immediately runs back to her truck screaming
Hmm.
and grabs her gun and held it to her head again, dramatically. Okay, so she's back in her truck. Finally, after 9 long hours, longer than a workday, Yolanda surrenders. By this point, it was mayhem at the Days Inn motel as hundreds of Selena's fans had gathered to mourn her
Hmm.
death. At
Wow.
this point, word had gotten out about her murder, and an official press conference had been held to talk about it. They didn't give Yolanda's name at the time, They just said, the Hannah Star singer was shot and killed at the Days Inn motel. I
Hmm.
think they said by a woman, but they didn't give her name at this point. So Yolanda finally was arrested for one count of first-degree murder. On April 3rd, 1995, she appeared in court for her arraignment hearing and pled not guilty to murdering Selena. Yes, let's all say it together. What the fuck? So her bail was set at $100,000 initially, but then it was raised to 500,000 because the DA thought that Yolanda was a flight risk. I think
Hmm.
we can all agree with that.
Yeah.
However, people were pissed that this case was not going to be like eligible for the death penalty. It wasn't even like an option. And I researched why. I never did back then, but I was like, let me just see what up. And I learned that it was because the crime, the murder, did not contain any of the aggravating circumstances required under Texas law, such as a multiple murder or a murder committed during a robbery.
Hmm.
Make it make sense.
Yeah,
Make
for
it make.
real.
So
Wow.
Selena's fans were not having it. And apparently, the county jail where Yolanda was during her trial received a massive amount of death threats. There were even gang members in Texas who had taken up collections to raise the bond money for Yolanda so that they could kill her when she was released. The Mexican mafia reportedly placed a price on her head and spread the word that anyone who committed the crime would be called a hero.
Okay.
Yeah. So I think those feelings are still very much alive and well, especially given everything that I've been seeing on social media, all the memes and shit. Like this,
Hmm.
yeah. So, anyways, it took a while for the trial to go forward because of the notoriety of the victim. Because how are you going to find an impartial jury? Like, unless you hold it in
Exactly.
Mars.
Yeah,
So,
for real. Shoot.
but they finally did, and it began on October 11th, 1995. And like the impact of this trial was actually like on OJ level, which
Hmm.
funnily enough, he croaked
Yeah.
today. So there you go.
Sayonara,
Um,
Seka.
I know. So the prosecutor argued that this was an open and shut case of cold-blooded murder. The defense argued that the murder was actually all Abraham's fault. Yeah, that he had driven Yolanda to madness by threatening to keep the two best friends apart. And she was so terrified of him. He was so scary. So like, that's why she had the gun. I mean, what happened to the suicide? Like, you
Yeah,
know what I mean? Like
exactly. They couldn't think of a better defense.
exactly. So, and yeah, so it was I'm scared and whoops, it was an accident was their defense. So while we're here, let's talk about Yolanda's ridiculous claim. I
Hmm.
don't know if I blocked this or if I even knew. And
Hmm.
let me know if you heard this, but
Hmm.
Yolanda actually claimed that Abraham had raped her with a knife about a month before the murder and threatened to kill her family if she ever told anyone. And she claimed that this attack happened in her apartment. Did you hear that?
No. No. But I do remember hearing something that him and her were on bad terms, right?
Yes.
But I mean, we never heard that.
Yeah, so like he allegedly raped her and her assault story, it differed. It was like he rapes me, and then another one was he raped me with a knife in my vagina.
Okay, so where's the scars, Yolanda?
Exactly.
Because they could, I'm sure with a knife, there's a lot of scars up
Yeah,
in
how are
there.
you still alive,
Yeah,
Yolanda?
I'll look for them.
Yeah, exactly. It shouldn't be that hard to find.
No.
But so that was one of the claims that came out of there. And then another thing was she claimed that Abraham called her a lesbian on more than one occasion and that she was obsessed with his daughter. That one I can believe. I think
Yeah.
we all felt that.
Mm-hmm.
Um, no offense to my lesbian community, by the way, that I'm a proud part of, but I don't know. Like it was like, she was enamored. She was obsessed with her. And
Mm-hmm.
one thing I learned, I'm digressing a little bit, but I read that when she first got into Tejano music. She was into this other singer, this other female singer, and actually hated Selena
Mm-hmm.
for all of her like fame that she was getting. And then a friend of her, a friend of Yolanda's, took her to see Selena in concert. And it was that concert that Yolanda was like, "Oh my God, she's amazing." And then like immediately became like diehard
Obsessive.
fan and then started the fan club.
Yeah. See, I think this is a good example as to why you shouldn't have fans involved. And I think that's why a lot of times fans or stars protect themselves from fans
Yeah.
because it's nothing to say like you and I are normal fans, right? But there's a fine line where someone can become very possessive and obsessive and become crazy, you
Yeah.
know? Like and she took it to another level. Like she to me she was way too involved.
Too involved. It was too
Yeah.
much.
Mhm. Yeah,
And
that's
yeah,
wasn't right.
it was just yeah. And the fact that I mean, we've been there. Like,
Mhm.
we've had friends that were like, whoa,
Okay.
like back up, sister. But you don't see
Yes.
it right away.
No. Mm-mm.
And she
Mm.
didn't see it at all. Or maybe she started to at the end, but
Mhm.
like her people around her were like, wait, and then like the embezzlement and all that. It was just like, okay,
Mhm.
now you need to pay attention. This is serious. Like, this is legit. This
Yeah.
woman does not have your best interest. You need to get away from her. She's dangerous. So,
Yeah. And
yeah.
I don't know. I don't trust anything that comes out that lady's mouth.
No, not at all. Everything has been a lie. And then what father? I mean, yes, Abraham does come off as scary. And even in the
Mhm.
movie, he was portrayed as like this booming voice, this like, you're not, he kept Selena
Right.
and Chris apart and all that. That's all a fact. But like,
Mhm.
what father is not going to be like over protective of his daughter, like, who
Mhm.
was like young,
Yeah.
beautiful, starting out, everyone loved her. Of course you're going to want to protect her.
Mhm.
So
Did they have security? Or
I
was she still like was she still at that point where she didn't need as much and it was just kind of like they trusted that
I
the
think it was.
people around her would protect her?
Yes, a little bit of both. I don't think that if they had security, it was minimal. And she often went around. So she walked among us, like
Mhm.
going to the store. Like she didn't. Just yesterday, I met a guy when I went to the grocery store. He saw a shirt that I was wearing, a Selena shirt, and
Mhm.
he was like, "I love your shirt." Like my sister-in-law met her years ago at the airport, just walking by herself,
Mhm.
and she was so friendly and like lovely, and they
Wow.
took like took a picture and blah, blah, blah. She didn't have
Mhm.
anyone with her, so it's
Yeah.
like
She kind of
shocking.
reminds me, and I know like this might strike a chord with a lot of people because I know there's a lot of people that don't like her, didn't like her, and they still don't. And but then there's a lot of people that loved her, Jenny Rivera,
Yeah,
and how she treated her fans
yeah,
remind me a lot of how Selena was in the beginning and how she was. Because
right.
with Jenny, she loved her fans, but she
Yes,
also treated them like family or
yeah,
normal. Like there was never this separation. Like, you know how you went to the meet and greet with J-Lo and it was just like, okay,
yeah,
arm's distance. You know what I mean?
yeah,
With Jenny, it's just like you go to a meet and greet. No, you're sitting down. She's chopping it up with you. She's, like you see those videos of how she treated her fans, like,
yeah,
and they loved her,
yeah,
crying, and she'll have like an hour conversation with
yeah,
them, about what's going on in her family. And I feel like that was the same way that Selena was, is that she was not dehumanized by the fame yet. And I don't
yeah,
think with the way she was, I don't think she ever would be. And I think that's where she got in this problem with Yolanda was that she maybe saw or felt things, but didn't want to go there because, she probably was like, well, she's helped me a lot too. Like she always saw the good in people, which deflected from her being able to see clearly when everybody else around her was seeing some shady shit, you know?
yep, yeah,
And that sucks because that's what ended her life.
yeah. It's and I don't know why I always want to bring up like, remember when we were in Vegas, Reno, and that young girl was shot and murdered by her crazed fan, Christina Grimmie.
Oh my God, I forgot about her.
Um, yeah,
Yes.
it's like I feel like that like catapulted into like
Hmm.
more security. Can't remember
Yeah.
security prior to that. Why am I having? I know that it was intense because the Britney Spears by then had stopped like doing stuff.
Hmm.
So, and I know they
Yeah.
have like intense backup.
Forgot about that girl, but yeah, that's right. And I think, you know, yeah, I just think it's a different, I think social media did that a lot because I think that by the time Facebook, MySpace, but mainly Facebook, or just people feel like they know these people because they're so involved in their lives, or if they make pages, or you know they feel like they have a right to know
Hmm.
everything and anything,
Yeah.
and for example, just real quick, there's a girl, her name is, it's Without a Crystal Ball. She's on YouTube and Instagram, but I follow Sister Wives on TLC. And I'm such an old lady. But my mom and I love that show and we've watched it since the beginning.
Yeah.
But recently one of their sons committed suicide. And it was
Mm.
like this big thing. And so this particular YouTube person has taken it upon herself to pretty much put herself out there and get all of the things in regards to his death, including the police reports, the texts that were between him and his mom the night before, and then all these things. So people are like, that is not okay, you know? But her defense is like, well, this is public record. We deserve to know, as
Hmm.
the public, who they've invited us into their world. So we deserve to know what really
Yeah.
happened. And I think that there's a fine line because regardless if they are public figures, they're famous, they're whatever, like you still have to give them, they're still human. They
Hmm.
still deserve privacy, you
Yeah, good
know?
luck though. Good luck.
Exactly. And I think that's the thing, even like with Kate Middleton, it's the same thing. Like this is the world you're in. It goes with the territory, you
Yeah.
know? And I think that's why, like when it comes to security, it's important because you just never know who's out there. Because there are these people that feel because you invite them into their world because they're public figures, that they know them, that you owe them that.
Yeah.
And like they have a sense of possession. It gets to people's head when they become obsessive like that, And I don't know though. I mean, I think Yolanda was straight up just in love with her
Yeah, I agree.
and wanted to push, basically brainwash her and push everybody away from her to where she was the only one that Selena would trust. And when
Hmm.
she saw that trust was dwindling, she was
Hmm.
like offended, you know?
Yep, totally. Yeah. Oh my
So
God.
sad.
Ugh, but yeah, so in regards to the lesbian claims, the prosecutor, well, the rape claim, I should say, the
Hmm.
prosecutor called Abraham to the stand and asked him, point blank, did you assault her? And he said, no. And I don't know if he asked about the lesbian comment. I couldn't find
Hmm.
that. Um, so I can't answer that. But with regards to the sexual assault, he was like, absolutely not. She's a liar.
So were they claiming that Yolanda was like super offended by the lesbian claim, and that's what,
I mean, no, just like that it was an insult.
that he was like harassing her
Yes,
basically?
correct.
Gotcha.
So, in regards to witnesses, besides, Abraham, they had Chris Chris Perez. He testified on behalf of the prosecution, and he stated that he and Selena had stopped trusting Yolanda a while before the murder even occurred. So that says a lot. And they also brought in the sales representatives from the gun shop,
Hmm.
and they testified to Yolanda buying the gun, giving her lessons on how to use it, returning the gun, and then buying it back.
Wow.
Employees from the motel also appeared and testified to witnessing Yolanda chase after Selena while pointing the gun at her. But the defense, they brought in like I think it was a manager at the hotel or someone higher up with regards to the woman that heard Yolanda say bitch, and they tried to debunk it. They said, "Oh no,
Mm-hmm.
that woman, she has a history of lying or something." So I don't know. I
Mm.
believe that she called her. I saw it way too much for it to
Yeah.
just be a lie. So I believe that that word was uttered. And
Mm-hmm.
it's important because if you're sad that your friend was shot, you're not going to call her a bitch.
Exactly.
So that's why that came up. In addition to the testimony, they also showed autopsy photos to the jury, which I unfortunately have seen throughout the years. I'm sure you have, because they're out there.
Mm-hmm.
Don't go looking for them if these things make you feel uncomfortable, because they're
Yeah.
there if you type in the name and autopsy. It's hard, and the jury, it caused some of the jury members to like burst into tears. And meanwhile, Yolanda's just like looking away the entire time. So she knew she was cooked. Okay. She was
Mm-hmm.
not able to tap dance herself out of this jam because they had her hook, line, and sinker, especially after these photos were shown. So on October 23rd, 1995, and you'll see we're still in the same year. Okay, this trial was quick.
Mm-hmm.
The closing arguments were presented, and defense ended their case with this was just an unfortunate accident. While the prosecution stated that it had been an accident, why did Yolanda, who is a nurse, not help her best friend?
Mm-hmm.
Why would she chase her with a gun after she shot her? Okay. That's like you can't argue that away. Why would you do that? So the jury only took 2 hours in deliberating before
Mm-hmm.
finding Yolanda guilty of first-degree murder. And let me remind you guys, in case you forgot or didn't know, she was only 35 when she shot and killed Selena. Girlfriend looked 72.
Oh my gosh,
Okay.
are you sorry. Are you
Yeah. I thought she was like 20. I thought
35?
she was at least 20 years older than Selena. Like it was,
Dang, she had a
or
hard
30.
life.
Yeah, she had a rough life and it's only gotten rougher. So
Was she a drinker?
I
Like,
don't even
what the
know.
frick?
Girl. So yeah. So she
She's the
had that
oldest
for her.
35-year-old I've ever seen in my
Right?
life.
Right? Anywho, she
Wow.
received the maximum sentence of life in prison without the possibility of parole for 30 years, which is coming up on March 30th, 2025. And on November 22nd, 1995, at 35 years old, she arrived at the Gatesville unit in Gatesville, Texas, where she remains to date. And because of the multiple internal death threats from incarcerated Selena fans, okay, and on the inside, Yolanda was placed in isolation and spends about 23 hours a day alone in her 9 by 6 foot cell.
Wow.
And in 2002, under a judge's order, the gun used to kill Selena was destroyed and the pieces were thrown into the Corpus Christi Bay. Fans and historians disapproved of the decision to destroy the gun, saying that the event was historical and the gun should have been in a museum. I tend to disagree.
Mm.
Who
Yeah,
wants to
no.
see that? That's creepy.
Exactly. That's like a morbid museum,
Yeah,
maybe.
that's not, no, no, no. And I
Mm-mm.
know I didn't talk about the funeral, guys, but oh God, because the pictures are just absolutely sad.
Yeah.
But they had an open casket funeral where they allowed everyone to come pay their respects. She was a people person even in death. She looked beautiful. She was wearing a purple outfit. She looked like she was sleeping. I don't know. And you used to work in this field. It's
Mm-hmm.
fascinating to me how they're able to do that. Like the
Mm-hmm.
makeup, I mean, I know if you look up close, it looks weird,
Right. Mm-hmm.
but like it's just wow.
Mm-hmm.
It's crazy to me.
Yeah. It's to where you could almost you feel
You want to
like you
wake
could
them
see
up.
their and you it's like you almost feel like you could see their chest moving up and
Yes,
down.
yes.
Mm-hmm.
What is
Yeah.
that?
I think it's just I mean if you're a good embalmer, then you've done it right. But I think
Oh,
it's just, I think they say it's like just the fact that your loved one is finally at peace. If you could look at them and see that they are like they're sleeping, you know? And that's the whole goal of, embalming someone and being in that business of prepping a body for a funeral is like that's the image that you want to leave the family with is just like that. Kind of like how you obviously like you said if you get up close it's different, but from a distance, you want them to just look like they're okay, you know.
yeah. Yeah.
Sad.
And yeah, so I just was like, the fact that they had it open to everybody was beautiful. I think she would have wanted that. And that memorial, the public memorial took place on April 2nd, 1995, and she was laid to rest the next day. And have you seen photos of her, not her headstone, but the big plaque that's over her resting spot? It's a
Mm-hmm.
picture of her face, just her
Oh
face
no, let me see.
ingrained, or what do you call that? It's like steel or something. I'm thinking, I can't think of the name of whatever it is, but it's her face and her hair and her
Uh-huh.
signature.
Oh.
And you can go, and then now it's protected. I don't think it had a gate around it at first,
Mm-hmm.
but now it does. And I
Oh wow.
remember like something happened to lead to that.
Oh
Maybe too many
wow.
people were chilling by it. I don't know. But so that
Yeah.
happened. And yeah, so one thing that I told you guys that I was gonna do. No, I didn't tell you, but I was planning on watching the
Mm-hmm.
documentary that Yolanda released, but I decided not to because I don't want to give this woman any airtime. So I'm
Mm-hmm.
gonna share with you some things that I found online about it instead.
Mm-hmm.
So this hoe released a two-part docu-series earlier this year, and it's titled Selena and Yolanda: The Secrets Between Them, where she gives you an exclusive interview from behind prison walls. This special was essentially a way for Yolanda to, like the title suggests, expose secrets that the two kept. The beginning of the documentary or docu-series goes on and on and on and on and on about what a hard worker Selena was, how she was a people person beloved by all, stuff we already knew. Then it cuts to the 9 hour long standoff between Yolanda and law enforcement. Dramatic, right? And then it cuts to, Yolanda, you're learning about Yolanda's past. Like, we give a shit, okay? But we
Exactly.
find out that she was the first person in her family to go to college. Big fucking whoop when it comes to this woman. And how she was a
Mm-hmm.
nurse, and how later she started the fan club and thus began working for Selena. They also contain interviews. So, like, this docu-series contains interviews with Yolanda's relatives, her nieces and nephew, who fully and stupidly believe that their aunt is innocent and that this whole thing was an accident and that she only bought this gun to protect herself from Abraham. But the thing we cannot forget, and what the prosecutors argued in courts, is that Yolanda only began calling this an accident during the standoff with police and talking with the negotiator. She hears the word accident. She's like, "Oh, perfect. Okay, it was an accident. Whoopsie."
Mm-hmm.
At the end of the day, Yolanda shot Selena while she was running from her. How much of a coward are you? You're going to shoot
Exactly.
someone as they're running from you in the back.
Mm-hmm.
She did not shoot herself like she said she was going to do. I'm going to kill myself.
Mm-hmm.
She didn't do that. She's still here. And she
Yeah.
didn't shoot Abraham. She shot her best friend. And I'm using air quotes for those of you that are not watching. She shot her best friend, and then she didn't even help her. She
Mm-hmm.
chased her and then walked away. So, what's next? Like I said, Yolanda is going to be eligible for parole next month, and we can only hope that she will be denied and will be forced to spend the rest of her days thinking about what she did and how she robbed the world of such a shining light. Now, before I end, because I want to end on a positive note, I know that there was like lots of rumors surrounding the end of Selena's life. One
Mm-hmm.
of them was she was having an affair. That she was having an affair. I think Yolanda touches on this in her documentary with this plastic surgeon doctor
Mm-hmm.
who believe he testified and said no.
Mm-hmm.
But then I saw, I don't know how true this is or if it's even him, an article where he's like, I did have an affair with her. Okay. I don't know. I only saw one,
Wow.
so I do not believe it. As Chris tells it in his book, which is beautiful, the book he
Hmm.
wrote for her, they were getting ready and excited to like, build their home. Like they had bought a land, they wanted to have a farm, she wanted to have 5 kids, and they were
Hmm.
excited to begin their lives together. They were like so in love. I don't believe that she was having an affair. Another rumor was that she was impregnated either by the affair or she was pregnant by Chris.
Hmm.
And the doctors performing the autopsy confirmed that she was not pregnant. What else? Did you hear any rumors? Because I know those were the
No,
two.
those the ones
Like,
that I was the her being pregnant, and then what was the one about Yolanda? I think you already said it. Pregnant. Uh, I can't remember the other one, but that was the pregnancy one was the one that always stuck with me because that's when everybody was like, "Oh my God,
yeah.
so
I
sad."
mean,
But I'm
there
glad
was
they debunked that.
they did, and they like also then you have the stupid, way out there rumors that that Selena's father allegedly pimped her out as a kid to have sex with people in the music industry, and then sold her soul when she got signed.
Oh,
Or we're
God.
gonna say now. Um, there was a conspiracy between father and older sister to have her killed by the Illuminati. Bullshit. Um, there's also like something about a hitman like was hired, and I don't know. It just like it was so much like crap,
Hmm.
like involving when and I don't know how much of that, like when people talk about the Illuminati, there's some video out there about other stars that I tend to like, whoa, that could be true.
Oh yeah, for sure.
I don't think that is here at
No,
all. I
I
think
don't
it's
get that
absolute
feeling at all from
bullshit,
them. Hmm.
but like it was just some little musings.
Hmm.
And then there was another rumor that like, Selena's sister was like overly jealous of Selena, and because she was the one that's told on her, like,
Hmm.
dad, they're dating, but like that's why she
Yeah.
killed her. No.
No. Mm-mm.
Um, just so many like ridiculous like claims. Oh, and then you heard the one. It's like this folklore thing where
Hmm.
if you play Selena's music, she's
Hmm.
supposedly burning in hell. Why is she in
Oh yeah,
hell?
I've heard that too. Yeah, exactly. Why would she be in hell?
This
She's
is just
so.
all like the stuff that we've heard throughout the years, and that people need to stop playing her music. And then they tie that back into
Yeah,
her
that's true.
dad. Like,
Mm.
so yeah, because he's still pimping her out to make money
I mean, I know there was a lot of controversy about that, like after she died and how they were like releasing things. Oh,
every year.
everybody does that once they die.
Yes.
They did that with Prince. They did that with, I mean, look, like I said earlier, Jenny Rivera, like the families, but it's not, it's because the fans are still love them. If not, I mean, and then this is a proven fact, regardless of who it is, when someone passes away, a lot of people find out about people that they didn't even know. A lot of people became fans of Selena the minute she died,
Mm-hmm.
because they didn't know about her before then.
Mm-hmm.
So, their legacy still lives on. There's
Yes.
nothing about pimping her out, you
Yes.
know. Real quick, I can't remember if you touched on this in regards to, did they ever say that Yolanda was jealous of Chris?
I heard that she was like,
Mm-hmm.
but and then they tie that into the whole like lesbian obsessed
Mm-hmm.
best friend,
Right.
but not as much as I heard about the doctor and the affair. Like that one I heard like a
Mm-hmm.
lot. Like, oh my God. And like
Right.
I remember being in like, like right after the murder, like a couple months later, because it was like still in the news. Yeah, no, it was like right after. Like they're celebrating her life and legacy on People magazine, and the next magazine is she was having an affair with her plastic surgeon. Look at her nose, it's different, la la la. And so it must be true. And
Yeah, no. And it's just people don't have answers for things, so they're just trying to you know, make sense of what happened. Because you're right. Like the things that you said in regards to Yolanda, like, okay, if she was a nurse, then she would have known what to do to stop the bleeding the minute she accidentally, in her
Hmm.
words, accidentally shot her. And if you really loved your best friend and you accidentally shot her, why are you running away or walking away, whatever it was, and not trying to put a damn tourniquet or something on your friend or being there to help her, preventing her from dying? Saying, "Oh my God, I'm sorry, I'm sorry." You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And
Like,
if she loved her that much, why didn't she turn the freaking gun on herself and shoot
exactly,
herself?
right after.
Mm-hmm.
Right after.
Yeah.
It's just mind-boggling to me. So the fact that she's sitting in jail and says she's more than served her time, like she's like, I've already done enough. Like my life has been stolen from me. La, 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 I should be released. Like, honey, this is in your best interest to remain in a hole by yourself for all
Yeah.
eternity because you're going to be killed and killed in a horrible fashion. There's
Yeah.
pinatas made of Yolanda to
I
date.
know. I love it. I love
Yeah.
it. Part of me hopes that she gets out and just gets the shit beaten out of her
Oh
to a
shit.
pulp.
Oh,
Like to me it's along the same lines as OJ. Like someone that it's clear you effing killed her.
yeah.
There is no reason why you should be walking the face of this planet, as far as I'm concerned, or set free. Either keep her in prison and torture her out, okay, keep her in a little tiny hole, okay, or let her run free and let people just do whatever they want with her.
Yeah,
I don't care.
yeah,
You know,
because
I know a lot of people are like, oh, that's not humane, blah, blah, but you know what? She wasn't thinking that when she killed her
she
best
wasn't.
friend.
She was thinking about herself.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And I don't care how like crazy or mean or, whatever they say about Abraham. That was his daughter. And
Yeah.
honestly, when you grow up like in a Latin family, a lot of times the dads are very demonstrative.
Hmm.
Not in a bad way, but it's because they're protecting their family, protecting their daughters, and I think he knew the music industry. He knew, that there were vultures,
Yes,
and I
exactly.
think
So,
that was the reason why he was the way he was. And
yeah,
he was just a very stern looking man that didn't
yeah.
seem like it was hard for him to crack.
I think that people were able to believe that he was a big part of the problem was the rumors about the blood transfusion, number one, and
Mm-hmm.
wouldn't you just put aside your religion? Blah, blah, blah. Okay, but also the fact that she started singing at a young age and she essentially didn't really have a normal childhood. Like she
Right.
was like studying, like I think she went to a normal school, a traditional school for a while, and then she did it
Mm-hmm.
on the road. But like, so she didn't have like a normal childhood, so how dare he? So I feel like
Mm-hmm.
that's where people are grasping at it.
Yeah.
But I do agree. I definitely agree with you. And he knew what the biz was like, so he was going to
Mm-hmm.
protect his family.
And I think look at Michael Jackson.
Yeah. Ugh.
When you're born into a family of musicians and the destiny for that your parents or your parent has set out for you
Hmm.
is stardom,
Yeah.
right? um there's always going to be that sense of normalcy that you want, and I'm pretty sure she asked for that all the time. I mean, and it's obvious, we saw that in the movie too, and I'm sure that was in real life, that was why she did the things she did, even with Chris, because she was searching for just to be normal, not treated, try to escape that,
Yes.
always being known as Selena, or always having to turn it on,
Yeah.
and that could be very, like, in a way, like, make you feel trapped, you
Yeah.
know? But at the same time, I think that if you really asked her and she was here now, like, I don't think she would have had it any other way. I think she really did love what she was doing and where it was going, you
Hmm.
know? So, I mean, it's a double-edged sword. I
Yeah.
think that I personally believe her dad had good intentions. He maybe went about it wrong at times, but I mean, no parent's perfect. I think Yolanda set a lot of, you know, um, seeds as far as like trying to make the family in general look not as, great as they claim, or, people want to believe.
Yeah. Um, and really quickly, I do want to correct myself. I think I mentioned that the doctor testified. Please retract. He did
Mm-hmm.
not. And in the beginning of like this whole like the rumors about like her relationship with him at the
Mm-hmm.
beginning, it was just like no, it was business because she was trying to open up a boutique in Monterrey, Mexico, which is where he was based.
Mm-hmm.
And but it never came to light because of everything that happened. And he like said that he like treated her and that's how they
Mm-hmm.
met in 1994. I don't know for what, but he
Mm-hmm.
treated her. And then he began helping her with the business side of like this boutique that she was trying to open. I don't know why, but
Mm-hmm.
that's how it happened. Maybe she just took a liking to like his business nature. I don't
Mm-hmm.
know, but maybe that's where the allegations come from.
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't until 2012 that this guy goes on Primer Impacto. Remember that show?
Mm-hmm.
And he claimed there on TV. So it wasn't, so that's where that other article came from, that he and Selena were in love and that it was short lived, like because she was taken from us, but that they gave themselves to each other completely. Now, Abraham did not take this lying down. He
Mm-hmm.
posted a very lengthy message denying the doctor's claims, and he said that it was not a true story. It was based on falsehoods that are scandalous and sell. They're, because the scandal. And they also hurt and tarnish the name of an innocent person who can no longer defend themselves. She's not here to say it's
Yeah.
true or not. And then he never commented after
Hmm.
that.
Well,
So do with that rumor,
mm,
like
dang.
I don't believe it at all.
Yeah.
I think he was just trying to be relevant now that he's old and crusty.
Yeah, and probably
Um,
needed a few dollars.
exactly. Because Primer Impacto was gonna pay because his
Okay.
name was out there. So he's like,
Mm-hmm.
let me see if I can get some scandal out of this. So
Yeah,
yeah,
exactly.
we're calling bullshit, doctor. But
Yeah.
anyways, so yeah, those were just all the rumors that like stemmed from following her death. And I don't believe any of them. What I do know, and what we all know, is that Selena's legacy definitely still lives on. Her fans back then went on to have their own families and kept
Mm-hmm.
playing her music, educating the next generation with her, her talents, her music, her dancing skills, her beautiful personality, her smile. And the one thing that I can only hope for is that as time goes on, her family can continue to heal from this tragedy that never should have happened because it never should have.
Yeah.
And yeah, so that is the conclusion to our two-parter, guys. And thank you so much for letting us do it.
Yeah, for
And,
sure.
her birthday is next Tuesday.
Hmm.
And it's just yeah, I don't think we'll ever get over this one.
No. And her memory will live on forever. I mean, honestly, her music is timeless. So, I think that was the beauty of her talent. And she would have gone so far if she was still alive. And that bitch Solanda.
Solanda. I mean, you guys, she ain't coming out. I highly doubt she'll be
Yeah.
released. I
And I
know, like,
think and I think the reason why too is because they know, not just because, you know, hello, she killed her, but the fact that they know that if they let her out, she's toast.
yeah,
You know? Like, I don't know though. I don't know. Crazier stuff has happened.
yeah, yeah. It's just the pinatas, guys. That's all we're
Hmm.
gonna say.
Do you
Uh,
think that if she were to be released though, that she would get a good, do you think there would be people that would want to interview her and like book deals? Like because that's the thing with me is that, I could see people wanting to do that, and this bitch don't deserve any money for anything.
yeah, I don't. Who, who wants to give her any limelight? I'm still
Right?
shocked that Oxygen did.
I know. See, and that's the thing. It's just like with, is it Casey Anthony? Was that the one?
Yes, I still haven't watched it.
Uh-huh. Yeah. Ugh, God.
Like that hoe.
So I don't know. We'll see. We have a year to, when is it, in March?
March
Her,
30th, 2025. Like literally, like almost practically on the anniversary.
Wow. Okay, well, we'll have to wait and see what happens, folks. But this was a good one. I love the two-parter. This is a really like, but this was very deep.
Yeah.
It was very layered, and I just enjoyed it. It actually made me, I don't know, want to go listen to her album now.
Right?
hmm Her many albums. So,
Exactly. Oh my
yeah.
gosh. But thank you so much, Neen, and
Thank you.
everybody. Hope you guys, I don't want to say hope you enjoyed it, but hope you guys took something from it, learned something from
hmm
it. And if you don't know who this is, please, and I'm talking about Selena, fuck Yolanda.
hmm
Go- get some music, play her
hmm
music. You're gonna like smile within like zero point 0.5 seconds of listening to the opening bars of any of her songs. So
Oh, for sure. Yeah.
yeah.
Regardless if you speak Spanish or not, you don't have to because she has both albums in English and in Spanish. But oh my gosh,
Oh my
amazing.
God. Yeah. So she is. And again, thank you guys so much for listening. We will see you next week for a brand new ep of Total 90s
Can't
podcast.
wait.
Have an amazing Friday. Have an amazing
Yes.
weekend. If you're in the Bay Area, I'm sorry. It's allegedly gonna rain. We're pissed. And stay dry, folks. Catch you on the flip
Yes.
side.
Peace out, buddies. Whoop, whoop.
We're stop button.